Well, hello, my wonderful brothers of the Maverick Nation, and welcome to some more What Ifery with the Dark Side of Maverick. And it is finally time for part 4 of What If Izuku Midoriya was the reincarnation of ulquiorra Cipher. Yeah. Part 4. It's part 4 of that. And seeing as part 3, we basically ended it with Izuku freaking manhandling Bakugo, given he was wearing a half hollow mask. Yeah, not a full mask. Basically, not a full mask, but a half mask. But he was still manhandling after getting manhandled himself. But basically, after that, Izuku's basically crowned the winner of the UA Sports Festival. And on one side, he doesn't really know how to feel about this. I mean, he did win, but ulquiorra kind of butted in on something he shouldn't have really butted into. And ulquiorra was like, "May I remind you a third time? It's bad for the both of us if you die." And he's just like, "So wait, that was you saying that? What do you mean, die?" And ulquiorra's just like, "So I see you're finally talking to me again. Anyways, that howitzer impact could have killed you." Seems that idiot Bakugo was too much of a fool to realize the wings that he used to brace your impact. Howitzer impact, brace your impact. And Izuku's just like, dude, save the puns for someone who actually knows how to make them. Save the puns for someone who has a sense of humor. And, Ulquiorra's just like, "Anyways, yes, wings, brace your fall." And Izuku's like, "Oh, wait, I had wings?" And Ulquiorra's just like, "Yes, I used them to brace your fall, or impact, or whatever. And then I retracted them afterwards. And then, seeing as you were still pretty close to dead, I had to force control, seeing as you weren't exactly doing it yourself." And, Izuku was just like, "So, that hollow mask. Wait, what about that third guy? That other guy. What about that other guy? Called him Sosuke Aizen? That was not the actual Sosuke Aizen, Izuku. That is merely an imprint left from Espada. All Espada have had former contact with Aizen, so he was able to use his Reiatsu to create an imprint. I believe he used the imprint that he had on me to access you. So wait, he was kind of using this imprint to help me? Not really help you, more or less, just interrupt things, seeing as you aren't exactly letting me help you. So wait, why was he even doing any of that? It's not merely that he was wanting to. You see, whenever you decided to completely disconnect from me completely. Basically, disconnect from me completely by never talking to me again. It kind of caused a problem with the imprint. And so, whenever you are put in dire straits, like mind control or someone who is equally as fast as you, or, well, other things, possibly, the imprint kind of acted as a lifesaver of sorts. But, considering I know the kind of person Eisen is, I didn't want you to be wrapped into something like that. So, seeing as he had left you, considering you a dead man, that was my time. Even if it meant that you would be pretty uncomfortable, considering you didn't want to talk to me ever again. I still, basically, Izuku, you and I, you have to understand this. You and I are both in this together, whether you like it or not. If it comes down to the wire, like it did with Bakugo, and basically just like, if it comes down to that, like it did, I will be the one if you aren't the one to take action. I will be the one to take action. If you don't, yourself. And Izuku's basically just like, and taking action means doing that to me? Now I don't even know what Bakugo's going to think about me. Before it was already bad enough, that freaking sword causing me to freak out. And now that mask? Ugh. I'm sorry if that inconveniences you, but I'd rather you be alive and be inconvenienced than you be dead, and myself also be dead. Again. It would be an inconvenience to the both of us if you were dead. Or at least that's what I know from what I've gathered so far. Things are very messy now that we've not been communicating for some time. And Izuku's like, what do you mean, messy? It seems by being disconnected from each other, you cause things to be rather shaky on my end. Without you to be around, without anyone, really, things have gotten to be quite the mess. I guess you could say your inner world has begun to become quite the shithole without any interaction in between yourself and myself. So, if I just cut myself off from you like that again, it would get even worse? And what do you mean by inner world? Trust me, Izuku. It would be better if you didn't ever do that again. I already saw how bad it got the first time. I don't want that to happen again. It was honestly, it's been a long time since I've ever been able to feel fear. It was very unpleasant. You reinstilled that into me. That gut instinct of fear. I didn't like what I saw. It was... It wasn't right. Please, Izuku, just don't do that ever again. And Izuku's just like, well, I'll take your word for it. Just please don't try to be as forceful again, unless you absolutely need to be. And I'll try not to be as reclusive. I've actually began to notice that I've been kind of reclusive on the outside as well. I hope Ochako isn't as mad. I hope Ochako and Ida aren't mad at me. And Ukiyo's just like, trust me, if they're good friends, as you say they are, they won't hold it against you. And Izuku's like, well, how do you know that? It's not exactly something I would like to talk about. Trust me, there are certain boundaries even I don't like to cross. So now that the UA Sports Festival is done, what are we going to do? Well, I really don't know. And then it gets to the next day where basically, Aizawa is talking about the whole internships and agencies thing. And, the agency that I'm going to say Izuku takes is going to be Endeavor's agency. Because, Todoroki got interest and he was like, hey, you mind taking my dad's agency? Because if you do, I will. And you're just like, why would you only take your dad's agency if I took it as well? Well, uh, it's just, uh, you mind? And Izuku is just like, fine, be a stick in the mud. And he's just like, come on, Todoroki, you can take a joke, buddy. Shoto. And Todoroki's like, wait, what? Come on, Shoto. It was really that bad? I guess I should talk to Ulquiorra more. And he's like, who's Ulquiorra? I was like, oh, shit. Shit, what do I do now? Ulquiorra's kind of the reason why that whole mask thing happened and all of my other powers. You see, I'm not even sure how the two of us got stuck in this whole mess together in the first place. Ulquiorra seems to be someone who's inside of me. And even though it may seem like I'm telling a lie, I'm not. You can trust me. I mean, I was only really as reclusive as I was because before the UA Sports Festival, me and Ulquiorra kind of got in a fight, and I said some things that I kind of regret now. And Ulquiorra's like, kind of? And, it's just like, Izuku just like, I'm trying to talk to Shoto. And Shoto's just like, no further convincing. And Izuku's like, why? And Ulquiorra's just like, without actually paying attention to it, you managed to grow a tail and wings. You got so, angry at me. And wait, Izuku's just like, wait, so my emotions influence this stupid transformation stuff? And Ulquiorra's like, I decided to be a little bit more lenient with the whole, uh, thing. Basically, Ulquiorra's just like, ugh. And so, Izuku and Todoroki go to the same agency slash internship thing, whatever. Endeavor's one. His one. And, sooner or later, they actually do get a thing, like, Endeavor's like, apparently there is a villain, known as Hero Killer Stain. And Izuku's like, Hero killer stain. Interesting. Hero killer. And Shoto's just like, come on, Izuku. Why are you just sitting there thinking? And Izuku's like, oh, whoa, I didn't notice that. Sorry about that, Shoto. And Izuku's like, so are you like his tsundere now? And Izuku just gets so freaking pissed. And he like freaking just like automatic transformation. And he's just like, why'd you do that to me, Ulquiorra? And Ulquiorra's just like, well, seeing as we've both joined it now, I decided to make it a little bit more fun and less stressful. I mean, you do know his opinion of his own father. You know, Shoto's opinion of his own father, Endeavor. And, well, Izuku's just like, oh, yeah, that. Well, if this is your idea of making it more fun, I don't know how you could help, Shoto. And, Ukiyo's just like, more like how we can help him. And Izuku's like, no. And Ukiyo's just like, yes. Come on. And whenever they get there, they just see Ingenium's and Ida's like bodies. They're like both like on the ground. And, Stain has a sword to like Ida's chest. And Stain is like, oh, it's a bunch of fake heroes. More fake heroes. Wait, is that Endeavor? It's like, is that Endeavor? Who are those two? And Shoto was just like, by the way, could you find some way to hide those, like, wings and your tail? It's kind of weird. And, Izuku's just like, I would if I could, Shoto. Trust me, I would if I could. I would if I could already, Shoto. I would if I could. And Ukiyo's just like, well, at least you're on speaking terms with him now. At least you're on speaking terms. And, freaking Stain is just like, well, some pib squeaks and the hero Endeavor. Huh. Seems I might get some fun out of this yet. And Ulquiorra's like, he didn't mention me. And Izuku's just like, yeah, because I didn't mention you. And Ulquiorra's just like, he called us a pipsqueak. Let's make him pay for that. Wait, what do you mean? This time, just to make sure you don't go insane, I'll allow you to have control of the whole mask. What do you mean? What I mean is the full hollow mask. Grab your face. And Izuku's like, okay. Why? Now. And he's just like, wait, what are you? And freaking Endeavor did not expect this. Shoto did not expect this. And freaking, it's just Ida's just like, what the shit? And then like freaking Stain is just like, oh, so is that part of your quirk? He's just like all metal and shit, and he's like, is that part of your quirk or some shit? And he's just like I'm gonna do my special voice, like, no, this is part of our quirk. He gets like an Ulquiorra voice, like a very creepy, scary Ulquiorra voice, like, no, this is part of our quirk. It's kind of like Hollow Ichigo, but Ulquiorra like combined. That's kind of the voice for like the Hollow Mask. This is part of our quirk. And then he just summons Murcielago. I was like, shink. I was like, whew, Getsuga Tensho! And just nails Stain with the Getsuga Tensho. And, he's been getting stronger now that he's been getting, on speaking terms with Ulquiorra again. So, he has more control over the Hollow State. But Ulquiorra reminds him that he can only be in that state for a total of 8 seconds. The time limit has not changed. Beginning of, the Hollow training for, the full mask, only 8 seconds. And Izuku's like, okay, so what am I supposed to do in 8 seconds? And he's just like, 6, 7, and like, shit. Izuku's like, Getsuga? And he's like, 8. He's like, Tencho, shit. And Stan is just like, all talk, no actual fight. You actually think that did anything to... my body. The hell did you do to my body? And Shoto's like, thanks for the distraction. And then he just rains down fire on Stain. And Endeavor's like, you actually got my son to use his fire. And Izuku was just like, yeah, but it wasn't for you. Don't mistake this for anything for you. I might be under your agency, but... internship, agency, whatever. But none of this was for you. We're heroes. This is what we're supposed to do. So, technically, this was all the 3 of us. And Endeavor's just like, wait, if you didn't do it for me, then what do you mean the 3 of you? And, Shoto just informs his dad, like, right in front of his face. He's just like, Ulquiorra's cipher. A little friend inside of my friend. And whenever Izuku hears my friend, he's just like, Shoto actually thinks that we're friends. Holy shit. Just like, they got on freaking speaking terms, now they're friends. Like, yay! Yay for them! And basically, Ulquiorra, he informs him, like, the whole time limit thing about it being 8 seconds. So, yeah. That's why he was only able to get, like, 1 Getsuga Tensho in. And, well, Todoroki, like, Shoto, Todoroki is, basically, he's basically, he's just like, well, my son hates me. This one over here apparently has someone else inside of him. And I don't think either of them like me. So I guess they only signed on to my agency to, spite me. And Johto's just like, yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah, Dad, that's probably about right. And Ulquiorra inside of Izuku is just like, I'm beginning to like Shoto more and more. And Izuku's just like, yeah, I like him too. We're friends. Which means you know what that means, Ulquiorra? And Ulquiorra's like, what does that mean? Which means you're friends with him too. And Ulquiorra's just like, and that's important. Why? And he just, how Ulquiorra's feet and hands were all black whenever he went into the Segunda Etapa? He just does the thing where he turns it black, his hand black, and he's like, Ulquiorra would like to shake your hand as a sign of our friendship. Here's my hand, here's Ulquiorra's hand. He just shows his regular hand and his Segunda Etapa enhanced hand. And, Shoto's like, well, he already admitted he had someone inside of him, so it's not too weird. Plus, I have 2 freaking quirks. I mean, who am I to talk? It's like, so they do a little handshake thing. And, now Endeavor's just like, oh, I've seen enough crazy shit for today. This is stupid. Just leave that hero killer Stain guy to get, police, whatever. And basically, just more of Endeavor showing that he doesn't give a shit. He's like, F this shit, I'm out. Anyways, that's it for part 4. Dark Shadow Maverick is out. Adios.